I went shopping. Okay, so welcome back to another first on the channel. I don't think I've ever filmed a book haul or like a book slash stationery haul, just because I've never gone somewhere and bought enough stuff that I felt like warranted a haul. And this day was different. On Tuesday, I went to Antwerp with a friend and a fellow book lover, and we basically went with the sole purpose of going to book and stationery shops and just wreaking havoc. Let's say that. I think most of these stores, if not all, might be stores that don't exist anywhere else, but it's just about showing you guys what I've got, isn't it? I think some people who live like in Belgium, the Netherlands, they might know about the stores that I'm talking about, maybe even Germany, obviously Germany, but it might get finicky when you get outside of Europe, but still, I'm just excited to show you what I've got. I think I'm gonna start with the stationery bits just because there's less of them, and I might be able to like cycle through those quicker. One of the first stores that we went to was a store that I didn't know, and I got in there and was so overwhelmed with the amount of choices that I just ended up buying two little things that I didn't even really need, but the things that we really were there for, which was the stationery, there were so many options and I just didn't know what to get. Now, the store is called Sustrene, I want to say. They just got a new stationery line up and running, and I'm gonna see if I can show you guys some like pictures up on the screen, but it is really giving Bridgerton floral spring summer vibes, and they were so nice. I was overwhelmed. I was not prepared. I didn't know what to get. So I just bought two little teeny tiny things. Literally teeny tiny things. I got some really cute magnets to put on my whiteboard, just cause. And then this is to kind of diffuse, or however you want to call it, the ink on pages so that I can just stamp and make my journaling pages look pretty. Now, the only challenge with this one is my cat thinks it's a toy. So it's currently already filled with fluff, so I'm gonna have to find a way to clean it up again, because otherwise my pages are gonna be filled with cat hair. So thanks for that, Phoebes. The next store we went to was Hema. Now, this is a store that some of you might have heard from already, and this is one of those things where my friend kind of convinced me to buy it, but also I don't have one of these yet. So, you know, and with starting the new job, I think this might actually come in handy, which is just a little binder where you can put in travel notebooks. Now, what made me really want this was the fact that dividers were already in there. I like the material. I just like the fact I have a few little things that can already go in here, and just the fact that I can compartmentalize. I mean, yes, you can do it by divider as well, and that makes it easier, but you don't really need those. But still, it's pretty. It's pretty. Do any of you stationery lovers, do you need any other reason other than it's pretty and you think you might use it in the future? Now, the next store that we went into is called Stad Leest, or translated The City Reads. And there I went and bought myself a new Leuchtturm 1917. If any of you are into journaling, you will know this brand very well. But I was talking with my friend about how I wanted to get back into journaling, and I've kind of fallen off, and every time I've fallen off, and at the same time a lot of things have changed, I kind of feel like I want to start fresh. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up and I'm going to put this by my bed, because I've been getting into the habit of putting my phone on my dresser across the room from me, so I don't use that when the brain doesn't want to shut off. So I think this and journaling will be a much healthier choice for my brain if I need to like slow down and get back into it. So obviously also got a pen loop so that my pen doesn't float around. Also, again, I have a cat. If my pen is just floating around on my nightstand, you bet your bottom that she's gonna throw it off. So pen loop it is. So the next store that we went to or that I want to talk about is the store where I think I did the most damage. This is the Purple Petals bookstore. You can find them on Instagram and obviously online. But this is one of those stores where if you're not a book lover, you'll not find it because it's off the main shopping street. But I went there, I think a couple of months back, and again, it was one of those things. I got in and got overwhelmed. I'm not joking with you when I tell you that I needed to go back in the same day. I had to come in, take it all in, be overwhelmed, pick up a few books, go out, have lunch, and then come back. Because it was too much. It was too much. So what we did was, now we went back. I knew what I was expecting. I had a list of books that I wanted to get, and that is what I did. But I also picked up this cute little fox pin. So cute. Which I think I'm gonna put on this tote bag that's filled with books that I'll show you in a second. So those were the little bit of stationery bits that I got. And then because we're in the Purple Petals bookstore, we'll just stay there and I'll show you what I got from there. I was very happy because I feel like a lot of the copies that I picked up, there was like one copy on the shelves. So I either picked up the only one that they got, or they just only stocked one and they're restocking it as I left. But I would like to think that I was very lucky and got the final prints of every single one of these. Now, the easiest ones to talk about were the next books in the Heated Rivalry series. I got Game Changers and Heated Rivalry, and I just wanted to feel them out and see if I was going to enjoy them. I'm pretty sure that I will enjoy every single one of these. I have now heard from a lot of people who have watched and loved the show that the books are just as enjoyable, and please, yes, do keep reading and continue reading the books. Also, I think as I mentioned in, was it my TBR video? I just want to keep supporting the person who wrote these books because they created a phenomenon, and I feel like maybe the money from the show isn't really going to them. So this is my way of solving that. If you don't know, Heated Rivalry, big gay hockey show. Everyone is in love with it. It's got a lot more depth than just that, obviously. But yeah, I'm just really curious to see how these are gonna hold up. And my goal with these is I want to read every single one of these and then separately. And then when I'm done, because you know I love a reread, I want to reread them in tandem and read them timeline-wise. So I've already seen a few. Now, she's also coming out with a new book in this series, so we're just going to have to wait and see what that is going to be like and how that is going to fit in with the timeline. But who cares? I just want to keep going. The next one is Half City by Kate Golden. I feel like this book has been everywhere in the sprints that I've been following, and I heard that it feels like a mix from like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Winx Club, Supernatural, like all those kinds of vibes. That sounds like a bit of me. Other than that, I know nothing about this book, but just that and that premise, and speaking about two of one of my favorite series to watch when I was a kid and when I was like a teenager, it would feel really stupid not to do it. And I feel like that opinion of like it being a mix between Buffy and Winx, that was kind of uttered. And then I felt like every single person that picked up the book afterwards said that it was exactly like that. And I feel like enough people that I follow have now read it, share that opinion, and love this book. The next book is one of those books that's been everywhere as well, and I'm getting serious FOMO, which is Direbound by Sable Sorensen. Now, these are actually two female authors that are working together on this series. The second one is out. I have been hearing that there's a third, so that there is going to be a trilogy. I don't know if there's going to be more than 3, but this sounds like it is Fourth Wing, but with wolves. And Fourth Wing was a whole journey, we know this, but I feel like wolves I've always loved. I love the idea of wolves. I love werewolves. So I feel like this might be even more up my alley. I don't know. But I'm very curious about this. Now, this was one of those books, along with the next one that I'm going to be talking about, where I just got this off the shelf and then just realized how big a book it is. So I'm kind of worried. This is a chonker. This is a big book. And I saw the second one they also had. I didn't buy it yet. I mean, obviously, if I love this one, I'm going to get the second one. But yeah, I saw the second one. The second one is even bigger than this one. It's going to be a chonky series. The next book that I've got, I'm going to be honest, I was completely influenced by Becca and the Books. She made a reel for this on Instagram that she was trying to get convince everyone to read this book. So when she promotes something, I'm gonna listen. So I got Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Again, do I have any idea what this is about? No clue. This is just one of those books where when you follow certain people and you feel like their tastes are really aligned with yours and they get so excited about the book that they want to like single it out and really tell you, like to your face almost, pick this up, read this book, you just have to. It almost feels kind of blasphemous not to. As I said, this is another one. I had no idea that this book was this big. I saw the second one. The second one is the same. I just glimpsed the first 2 lines on the back of this book, and it's, if you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. So that's got me intrigued. So those were the books that I got at the Purple Petals bookstore, and because I basically spent that much money, I also got a free tote bag. So if you're wondering, so if any of you, I'm just gonna plug this for a second, because if any of you are in Belgium, the Netherlands, you want to come and visit Antwerp, please go visit this store. It's so lovely. The woman that owns it and runs it is so lovely. She has so much knowledge about the books that she has on her shelves. She has a jar where you can put in suggestions of books that you want her to buy and to get. She's now doing also pre-orders. You can pre-order ACOTAR 6 and 7 to pick up at her store when it comes out. So I love the entire vibe of this store. I'm gonna see if I can insert like a video or a picture of it as well. It's a whole vibe. It is one of those bookstores. It only has English books, which if you're from a non-English speaking country, you will know probably the difficulty sometimes it is to find bookstores that have a large range of books, of English books. And this store is just only that. So if you ever think of coming to visit Antwerp, please consider going and visiting the Purple Petal bookstore, because again, women-owned business. We love to see it. We love women supporting women. I'm just crazy about that bookstore. And not to mention, besides obviously having amazing books and amazing pins, she sells like other bookish things. She has bookmarks. She has pop sockets to put on your e-readers or your Kobo or your Kindle or whatever it is. She has tabs that you can buy. Basically, you can get everything you need to read books and annotate your books right there in that store. Now, those were the books that were on my list when I left. So the books that are coming now are books that I wasn't really planning on getting, but I got them anyway. So City Reads Stadlist has two stores. So they have their stationery store, where I got the Leuchtturm, and then they also have a store that's just books. Now again, this is something where they got an entire floor. Well, I say an entire floor. They got enough English books that I was intrigued to also go upstairs and have a little look-see. And I'm very glad that I did, because they had a 2+1 special going on. And there was one book in that pile that I had on my TBR, and then two books that intrigued me. So this wasn't one of those cases where you find one book that you want because it's a promo, you look for other books that you might want or might be interested in. No, this was really like, I even had to put another book down because I was like, well, it's only 2+1 and I don't have 6 books that interest me in this pile, so we had to keep it to 3. Okay? Because there was already there's a lot of money around me already, okay? And so we needed to slow down. So the first book that got me into looking at this pile was Dear Dolly on Love, Life, and Friendships by Dolly Alderton. Now, there was another book from her in this pile, but again, my friend was with me and she was convinced that this one was gonna fit me a little bit more, or was like a little bit of a better place for me to start and see if I would love any more books by Dolly Alderton. Now, this one has been on my TBR for quite a while. I do love books like these. I love when people share their experiences and try to like teach life lessons through their own experiences. I love listening to people's stories. And this just feels like it's going to be one of those experiences of just sitting down with a cup of coffee and listening to a friend tell you about their life. Now, the second book that I saw and that I picked up was Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Tsuyimura. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. But this one, first of all, love the cover. Love it. I really do hope I can get the sticker off nicely. I don't want to ruin it. But what really intrigued me about this was actually the back of this book, which I'm going to read to you so you can figure out if this might interest you as well, which is, in a neighborhood in Tokyo, 7 young people wake up to find their bedroom mirrors shining. Placing their palms on the surface, they are pulled through into a wondrous castle where they encounter not only each other, but also their taskmaster, a bossy young girl in a mask named Wolf Queen. Though they don't know it yet, they all have one thing in common: eager to uncover the secrets of the castle while keeping their own. Their time here will not be without glitches. For a start, each day they must leave by 5 o'clock or face a terrifying penalty. They must all hunt for a key that will grant only one wish. They must tell no one about their experience. Now, this gave me the vibe of it might get into life lessons like the book that I very recently read was Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and it might get there. That was because of the secrets aspect in this little blurb, and it also might get a little Enchantra vibes. Now, obviously, I don't think there's going to be smut in this book, but I feel like with the tasks and all that, it might get those vibes. Now, the next book felt like a little bit of me because it is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. And this is apparently the first book in a series called The Women of Troy. Now, if you've been around, you know that I am very much right now in the Rick Riordan Greek mythology, Circe loving space, so that is a lot of it is about Greek mythology, and this just felt like it would teach me more about Greek mythology, but not from the perspective of the men, but the perspective of the women. Obviously, I also want to read The Song of Achilles now because I read Circe, and I think it might be a fun thing to read The Song of Achilles and this one at the very same time. Now, obviously, very different perspectives on the same time and the same kind of one event in history that we just have to guess about. But I had the same experience when I was reading The Lost Hero and Circe at the same time, because characters from the story of Circe were also in the Percy Jackson universe or the Heroes of Olympus universe. And even though the stories were very different, I felt very giddy seeing the same people or the same characters in two different stories. And I just want to see if I can not recreate that experience, but just to see what it's going to be all about. From what I see from the synopsis, this is basically just going to be the story of Troy told through the female lens. Now, obviously, the main character or female character that is usually talked about in the Trojan War is Queen Helen, who is kidnapped. And then obviously there are going to be a slew of other female characters that are going to be coming in. We have Briseis, obviously, also, who's kidnapped by Achilles. So there's a lot of things going on. And I'm just curious to see a female perspective of a story that is usually very heavily male-centered. Now, these are all the books that I've gotten when I went on my little shopping spree. I have no idea when I'm going to get to them. I recently actually found a picture of the first haul that I did when I got new shelves, and I don't even think I've read every single one of those books. So we might need to do another video where we focus on recently acquired books and actually getting to them. But that's a story for another time. If you've read any of these books, please do let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of it. If you've seen or if you've heard about any of these books and you want to know my thoughts on one of these as quickly as possible, please let me know and I'll just move it up on the TBR. I just hope that I enjoy every single one of these books. I'm pretty sure I will. I have a very good feeling about every single one of the things that I bought that day. And I'm just very excited to get to all of them, hopefully in a timely manner. But that is going to be it for me today. Let me know what you thought about this first haul video, because I've never done one of these. So let me know what you think. If you don't know what to comment, just comment like, I don't know, a wallet emoji because mine is now empty, or just a book emoji. And I will hopefully see you guys for another video next week. Bye!